You can't make this up. The Actman is gonna try and defend Assassin's Creed Shadows.
What's up, everybody? This is the Samurai Man here, and today, Ubisoft recently announced their newest Assassin's Creed game. Shadows the Hedgehogs. Nothing personnel, kid. Can you believe it? This series is finally going to Japan, a setting fans have been asking to go to for years. And the reaction...
Now, to be fair, the fans asked for Japan, not Ubisoft's twisted clown world woke version of reimagined, culturally enriched Japan.
Action has been entirely pleasant, unanimous praise. In fact, there is so little controversy to talk about that this is the end of the video. So
nice.
Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe to the Samurai Man for more awesome content.
The most
Oh, Jesus, that's loud. Oof.
disliked trailer in the series history.
This hate that he's getting does not make any sense.
Yeah, Ubisoft is definitely rattling the cage with this one. It's not just Assassin's Creed Shadows, though. If you look at Ubisoft's channel, every video they're posting is getting mass disliked. Twitter has been going off.
Yeah, that's how it works, because they also did this same shit with Star Wars and made it into a woke bonanza.
And the Wikipedia page for the protagonist Yasuke is a fucking war zone right now. There's a lot of heated debate around Assassin's Creed Shadows right now.
Well, it's not a war zone. Ubisoft and their completely mentally deluded fan base is trying to rewrite history and make it so that Yasuke was a real legitimate samurai and not an exotic pet that was taken around and, you know, shown to people as, look at this creature feature. Wow, never seen something like that before. That's my pet. Yeah, that's what it actually is.
Which is weird because the trailer itself looks pretty damn good visually. So
no, not really. The trailer looks pretty damn stupid. This is a literal they/them. I have still no idea. Is this supposed to be a man or a woman? Doesn't matter though, I guess. And then it just beats up men, and when the men beat up they don't try to finish it off.
Because the trailer itself looks pretty damn good visually. So something else must be going on. Something else is happening. And today, we're going to take a more nuanced approach to honestly answer the question, why...
Yeah, when he said honestly, okay, this is going to be a bunch of lies and misdirection, I feel like. Oh boy, I did not expect any lies from the good old act, ma'am.
Why are gamers upset with Assassin's Creed Shadows? Is everyone complaining about this game just gearing up for the next clan meeting? Probably not, but I am. See, there's a lot more to it than just a black samurai, you know? People are right to be skeptical of anything Ubisoft puts out these days. And that's reason...
Well, no, it's not the fact. No, it's not that. It's literally the fact that it's a black samurai. They just took Japan, and they are trying to portray it as this thing that was pretty much like owned and represented by blacks, effectively, by making him the big thing. That it's literally a black samurai, okay?
Number one, Ubisoft's reputation
Oh, and also he's gay. Yeah, but if you thought it doesn't get worse.
kind of in the gutter. X-Defiant, their supposed COD killer, is also seeing a high percentage of dislikes on their recent trailer. Star Wars Outlaws, same deal. Skull and Bones,
Star Wars Outlaws is just a complete failure.
the first
That makes no sense in the trailer even, like, Jesus.
quadruple A game, and your ship has a stamina bar. So the dislikes on the Shadows trailer is not like an isolated incident. People aren't just upset with what they saw in the trailer, they're upset with everything Ubisoft has been doing recently. Like taking down online servers for this old racing game called The Crew. Instead of allowing fans to host their own fan servers and keep playing the game, Ubisoft is instead removing it from people's digital libraries and rendering
Damn right, that's Ubisoft.
physical copies unplayable. Yes, they certainly do want us to be comfortable with not owning our games. Oh, and by the way, you need an internet connection to
If you don't own the game you buy, then you're, well, not really pirating now, are you, if you pirate it?
play Shadows. Oh shit, wait, tell them they only need an internet connection to install the game. Crisis averted. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The second reason gamers are upset is Ubisoft's pricing model. Pre-order Assassin's Creed Shadows coming November 15th. Excuse me, have you pre-ordered yet? Pre-order now. Watch this trailer and don't forget to pre-order. Play 3 days early by pre-ordering any premium edition. What the fuck is Amazon Luna? Max with silicon? What the fuck? Pre-order now to get a bonus quest. Discover the gold and ultimate editions. Discover them.
This is boring. We already talked about this and got all of our anger out when they did this for the Star Wars game.
Pre-order. Learn more about how you can fucking pre-order it 100 times. Statue's kind of sick though. Yeah, so for the same reasons people were upset with Outlaws, this pricing model is just not cool. It's not very Bushido of you, Ubisoft. Now, apparently Shadows is like the #1 pre-order game in Japan right now. I don't know how true this is, but if so, this is why we can't have nice things. Remember, no pre-orders. There's literally no point to it anymore. And also, like, a season's pass for a single player game. Are we in 2016 right now? What's happening? We're really going back to this? I can't think of any other game that still does a season pass. I just feel like there's something inherently scummy with opening up purchases for a game without showing any actual gameplay. So yeah, both Outlaws and Shadows are monetized in the
I mean, they didn't show any gameplay, but they showed enough. They showed enough. Yeah, let's be stealthy and, you know, all sneaky peeky about the fact that, you know, they're handing off information to the only black in the country. And no one's looking at him because... reasons, I guess? Yeah, that's gonna work.
exact same way, and nobody really likes it. Next reason, people are kind of bored of Ubisoft's game design. The huge open world filled with the same copy and pasted missions and side quests with tons of busy work and tedious grinding. Ubisoft's game and open world design is just too safe and by the books, and they have a bad habit of stretching out their titles to be way longer than they should. So this does kind of tie in with their reputation thing, but the earlier Assassin's Creed games took place in cities that were more condensed, which made a lot of the activities and the story, you know, closer together. A lot of it was still copy and pasted, but you didn't have to run so far to get to the next side objective or whatever. With their more recent titles, Ubisoft has been stretching out the runtime and the size of the open world, and it's not really making the games any better. It's the same reason a lot of people prefer Banjo-Kazooie over Tooie. I myself am a hardcore Tooie stan, but I get it. So fans are likely worried that this game will follow the same generic formula. I hope not. Now, with all this in mind, you can see how there's automatically
the idea that, oh, I need to be stealthy, yet I'm the only one with a cloak on, and it's for some reason kind of blue, and I have a katana on my... Yeah, that's stealth gameplay right there, boys, okay? Peak stealth gameplay.
I hope not. Now, with all this in mind, you can see how there's automatically a bias against whatever Ubisoft releases, because people simply do not have faith.
Don't say that it's a bad thing. I mean, if there is a bias, that bias doesn't exist just because randomly, okay? There's a reason biases exist.
Faith in them. They have a long history of anti-consumer practices and absurd monetization. But let's move on to the more controversial angle. Are gamers mad because Yasuke is black?
Black? Did you
No, they're mad because he's in the game in the first place.
say black? You called him black?
He is black.
Oh, he said it again!
I mean, yeah, for some people, they're happily taking this opportunity to post racism. I mean, why wouldn't they? If you're a racist, you just got some great content to work with.
We're finally going to Japan. And I still gotta see you niggas.
The problem with trying to figure out who's trying to make a genuine point and who's just like taking this opportunity to be racist, it's like a guessing game, you know?
No, not really. It's really easy to distinguish these things. I don't know how autistic you need to be to not be able to distinguish them really, really simply. I mean, it's the Act Man we're talking about here. So, you know, those two brain cells are rubbing together to do a lot of overtime. But it's still pretty easy to distinguish this. I mean, like, damn, it's not hard at all.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, George Floyd's skin. Yeah, that's enough talking about.
That's so bad. Ah, Lord St. George Floyd. The savior of America.
That hopefully this is only a small part of why gamers are mad. So there's two protagonists, the first one being Yasuke, who is a historical figure, a black samurai. Allegedly,
A historical figure of black samurai. We're starting the lies pretty fast, aren't we now? That's bold.
the first black samurai in Japan.
Allegedly. For it to be alleged, you need a little bit of, proof or, something like that. Not just saying, well, I was the first white samurai in Japan.
The first foreign samurai, in fact. And the other is Nawe, a shinobi assassin. Now, Yasuke has been portrayed in a bunch of other media, but I've never
Yeah, like, that fucking matters. I mean, why does that matter? Okay?
seen any of these other shows or games generate even a fraction of the controversy that Shadows has. Why?
Well, that's because no one gives a rat's ass about something that Netflix makes and makes into a mockery of whatever random culture that they pick this time to insert diversity inside of it. It's Netflix. I don't give a shit. But this is Ubisoft in Japan, so that is a huge difference.
Other shows or games generate even a fraction of the controversy that Shadows has. Why not star a native Japanese man? This is a good question and one certainly worth lifting an eyebrow. To my knowledge, most Assassin's Creed games star a fictional protagonist native to the setting, with any real historical figures being side characters or villains. And if I'm not mistaken, Shadows is the first game where you both play as a historical figure and it's someone not native to the setting. These 2 points have made some gamers suspicious of Ubisoft.
No, absolutely not. It's the simple fact that the Yasuke is literally, arguably, the absolute worst character to ever even give a shred of importance in Assassin's Creed feudal Japan age. That's the problem, and we all know why he has a role there. It's because he's black. That's it. That's the only characteristic that matters about him. And Ubisoft is looking at that DUI point scale and thinking, my god, we're gonna strike it gold here.
Ubisoft's intentions. Are they really choosing Yasuke because it's the best decision creatively and narratively?
Of course not.
Personally, I think the idea has a lot of potential, but we'll talk
but that's because you're a low IQ cretin.
about that later. The point is that some people see this as like a diversity checklist or something along those lines.
I mean, is it not?
However, like I said, Nawe is also native to Japan. So there is a native.
And Japan's also native to Japan. Is he trying to defend the fact that they just picked Black Samurai because he black and then also made him a lot gay because why not, honestly, at this point? And then his defense is, but look at all the other characters that are not black, gay, Japanese samurai, dude. That's a great defense, Act-Man. Great defense. Thank God for YouTube, because otherwise you would be getting orders wrong in fucking McDonald's.
Character that you can play as. But unfortunately, she's a woman, and women aren't real people.
Is she a woman? I'm not sure if that's a woman.
Right, fellas? Yeah, this is something that a lot of the culture warriors online are not highlighting, that there is a native protagonist. So, I personally don't...
The native protagonist, though, is not the problem here. I don't understand why it needs to be highlighted.
See it as such a huge issue. I think all of the other pricing stuff and everything else that's wrong with Ubisoft is much more important.
Yeah, this is the same level of IQ as saying, well, you're a slave to banks now forever, but Amazon shipping comes pretty early now. Yay! That's the same energy right there.
To me, as a gamer, and not a culture warrior. Now, some folk will say, well, why not just go play Ghost of Tsushima or Sekiro or any other of the hundreds of Japanese samurai games that star a Japanese guy? Well, I think Assassin's Creed fans just want that same thing for their own franchise. For some people, I don't think it's really all that complicated. But then again, Ubisoft games are already too safe, so would it be too safe of a direction to just star a random Japanese guy? I don't know. People see Yasuke as evidence that there's an agenda being pushed, and while that
We know there's agenda being pushed because of leaked files. We know 100% that there's an agenda. Blizzard, Ubisoft literally have diversity officers overseeing the production on every level of the game. So there's enough diversity, inclusivity, and all of that garbage. This is not some kind of theory. This is stuff that we have literal files and emails and leaks for to prove through.
could very well be the case. A lot of the people saying this right now are already saying this about 100 different things. Everything else has to be pushing an agenda when, you know, your content is based around that. For me, whether or not it's woke or...
Wait, what was that actually? What is this? Call of Duty, I don't know about Call of Duty though. I would assume that would be probably right though. Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed, Marvel, Toy Story. I mean, if you're gonna tell me that this person is wrong, I'm gonna tell you one thing, it's not wrong, because this is right, this is right, this is right, this is right, this is right. Don't know about the Call of Duty because I don't play Call of Duty, but this is definitely also right because it's the Rings of Power. But don't know what this is. This is definitely right because again, it's. I mean, how can you say, oh, but this is all true and right?
that. For me, whether or not it's...
Also, this woman, by the way, is right. She's extremely woke and crazy. If you have not seen this, this is kind of... Oh wait, I know what. I know actually what this is.
that. For me,
I support that guy. I didn't know this because I haven't watched in a while, but yeah, I 100% support everything here in that case.
For me, whether or not it's woke or pushing an agenda is going to come down to the writing and the storytelling, as it always does.
I mean, we can see the writing and storytelling literally in the trailer, my dude.
I think there's a really good example in the Battlefield 5 trailer where it's much more clear that something else was going on. It's actually the perfect...
How dare you? That's a strong, independent, crippled woman that need no man. How are you calling that woke?
else was going
Disgusting.
on. It's actually the perfect counterpoint. Battlefield 5 is set in World War II and you want to have female representation? Lucky for you, there were like 1 million female snipers in the Russian army. But no, have this like weird British lady with a robot claw who keeps dying and coming back and is...
It's fun. I mean, you literally champion these positions. Then enjoy them, loser.
So I think Battlefield 5 is more of a relevant example where you can extrapolate some kind of agenda being pushed. But you also have to remember that when Battlefield 1 was announced and people saw the cover art, they also had the same complaint. Why is there a black guy on the cover? Then the game came out and it was a fucking masterpiece and nobody ever talked about that again. Something similar kind of happened with the Fallout show. There was this initial reaction to the trailer where they're like, oh, it's woke. Fallout's been destroyed.
Yeah. And then they actually... Okay. Again, this is taking everything out of context. The reason that Fallout was looking woke was because they portrayed Lucy as some magical, do everything perfect from the beginning character, which she turned out not to be. In fact, Lucy's the best character by far. And then they portrayed the Brotherhood of Steel as this Christian-based, well, not based, but this literal Christian organization that has holy rituals and wears robes because they're Christian. Which is not true. Jesus Christ. And then they did not use that in the actual release. They had none of those scenes in. So yeah. Again, all justified.
Oh, it's terrible. And
listen, name me how can woke not be real if it doesn't die down? If something's not real, typically it dies down and most people don't care about it. It's almost impossible for us humans to create something that's not even remotely real and then just talk about it like it's real. Because most people are not insane.
And then the show came out and most people loved it. And most of the complaints people had with the show revolved around...
Actually, 50% of people disliked it.
the lore and how that was handled. So I think a lot of the people calling it woke and all that
Wait, what did he just say?
revolved around the lore and how that was handled. Most of the complaints people had with the show revolved around the lore.
Ah, yeah, that's true. This killed Fallout 1, that's true.
And how that was handled. So I think a lot of the people calling it woke and all that are just jumping to conclusions because that's kind of what their content revolves around. The next reason gamers are upset: Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't historically accurate. If you said something along these lines and you genuinely believe this statement, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt right now, and I think you're mistaking historical
Okay, we all know where he's gonna go here, right? Oh, but the other games are blah blah blah.
fiction for historical accuracy. They are not the same thing. Again, going back to Battlefield 1 and 5, historical accuracy.
Whoa. Why are you talking about Battlefield? We can talk about other Ubisoft Assassin's Creed games. You don't have to literally skip genres and everything. We can talk about different Assassin's Creed games. Come on, are you scared?
Is okay, we've got this game set in World War II. Are we trying to make it feel like World War II? Are we trying to make it feel like World War I? The historical accuracy conversation is usually reserved for games that are like recreating battles that actually happened. Are the dates of certain invasions in World at War correct? Was there actually a battle on Peleliu? That's historical accuracy. Historical fiction is the story inserted into that setting. Like I said, when you're watching a trailer for a World War II game and some cyborg lady shows up, your brain is like, that shouldn't be there, and you feel weird. This argument does not apply to Assassin's Creed at all. In fact, that's like the entire point of the Assassin's Creed stories, is that this is the history you haven't been told. Here's the real truth. And I've always felt Assassin's Creed was cathartic because you get to indulge in a conspiracy theory and see it presented to you. You get to watch it play out in the past and in the present. So Assassin's Creed not being historically accurate is like the fucking foundation of their story. It's like the premise of—
Oh yeah. Okay, there's a very simple reason why I absolutely hate this argument whenever anyone says it, and this is a very popular argument. Okay? None of the Assassin's Creed games previously to this follow even remotely close to what Assassin's Creed Shadows is doing, though. Okay? You had an appropriate character from an appropriate time period, you know, Native American stuff, congratulations, here's a Native American protagonist, all of these things. They even removed hand crossbows or something like that from whatever Assassin's Creed because that was not of the time period. Assassin's Creed is set in an alternate universe in a time period that we can recognize with some historical characters and whatnot. It's designed to actually almost work like that time period, but then you add some fiction elements to it. Assassin's Creed Shadows is none of that. Assassin's Creed Shadows is literally just garbage nonsense. That's it. They're completely different. No Assassin's Creed game tries this hard to bend existing reality and history, okay?
of the entire franchise. So if you're complaining about historical accuracy, still at this point, it's hard
Assassin's Creed literally just rewrote history. And that's it.
believe you have any experience with this franchise. Right, here's another example. JFK getting assassinated. That's a historical event. The way Umbrella Academy handles that historical event is historical fiction. It's taking...
Again, why can't we... He refuses to compare Assassin's Creed games to other Assassin's Creed games because you can't compare. Assassin's Creed Shadows does it completely different than any other Assassin's Creed game before this. And the only explanation why it would choose to do this is literally woke or stupidity, which kind of co-mingle very well.
Taking this thing that happened or existed and creating your own story involved with it. Therefore, Yasuke not being historically accurate as a samurai is completely irrelevant because this is a fictional story in a real setting. It's historical fiction. Now, if we get a new trailer for Shadows and we
Too bad none of the other games worked like that.
see like samurais with jetpacks, you know, you guys are gonna have a real argument to make, but wait a minute.
No, there's no real argument to make there.
Samurais with jetpacks. Has it been done before? Oh my
Probably.
god, it has! Another reason gamers are upset with Shadows. Yasuke wasn't a samurai. This is pretty much just arguing semantics because we just established that Assassin's Creed is built on historical fiction, not
No.
historical accuracy. So whether
No, everything, again, every other Assassin's Creed game is built on historical accuracy, and then some things get changed with alternative universe things. Except Shadows, where it completely doesn't apply, where the historic accuracy has been changed out for just a black gay samurai because reasons.
or not he was is completely irrelevant. Personally, because his origins and his early life and even his original
I really wonder what his take would be if Ubisoft's next game was in Africa and all the good guys were white and all the blacks would, you know, praise the whites. I wonder, would that be bad in Actman's mind?
name are still unknown to us. From a narrative perspective, this opens a lot of doors creatively because you can come up with your own story about his life. Whether it's done well or not, and it's written in a compelling, interesting way, remains to be seen. And that will be the determining factor on whether or not we look back on this game as something that pushed an agenda and fucking sucked.
It pushed an agenda and it fucking sucked. I can already tell you.
Because it compromised its writing for that, or a story that was genuinely interesting, because it presented this historical figure and wrote a story around them within the setting of Assassin's Creed. Also, the thing about Yasuke, again, because he's very mysterious, is that he could have also worked as a side character, or even a villain. When I saw this shot of him in the trailer with the
A black evil person? Are you insane and racist? What the hell was that racism? Blacks can't be bad. Racist.
flames, I was like, yo, he would be a pretty fucking cool villain, just visually, like the one black samurai. But then again, people might criticize.
Oh, he's bad because he's black now? How dare you, you absolute... What a racist.
Ubisoft and be like, oh, just the one black samurai you decide to make a villain. So you're gonna have people talking shit no matter what. At the end of the day, what matters most is if the game is good, right? And if it's monetized properly. You know what would be really funny though, is to make an Assassin's Creed game where it's set in a certain place and nobody is native. Like if they were all Mexican sombrero wearing samurais, that would be awesome. I want to see a game where everyone is just an unapologetic stereotype. So when it comes down to it, there are some valid questions to ask about Ubisoft.
Okay, I'm tired. Anyway, well, that was as good as I would expect from the Actman, so yay. Anyway, bye.